All right, guys, welcome to Uprising 144K. I'm Hydrogen Man. Guys, obviously, I'm not giving you medical advice for making medical claims. And basically, all I'm doing here, because as you guys know, I don't know how to edit videos. I'm terrible at all this technology stuff. I'm literally just hitting record on my iPhone here, guys. Hello. I have somebody on the line here with me. I do multiple calls where people contact me. They tell me their testimonials. They tell me what's going on with hydrogen. Sometimes they tell me their bad experiences with other devices. Sometimes they call me and tell me their great results with a device that the way that I personally would use hydrogen and whatnot. And I have somebody on the line with me, and I had the opportunity because I actually got a new phone, so this is how I'm able to put it on speaker. And I wanted you guys to hear a conversation between somebody who had contacted me in the past, who was literally just calling me today. This is why I'm actually doing this. They called me to, I guess, quote unquote, thank me, but I'll let them say it in their own words because I want you guys to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Normally, I just do a video sharing people's testimonials, but I have the opportunity here and they're on the phone and they were good with sharing their story. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and have a conversation with her and you guys can just hear us talking. All right, so that was my intro. And
hey, Greg.
And why don't you go ahead and just say what you were calling to tell me, I guess, and we'll just go with that. That's all.
Sure. I want to say that I was calling Greg today because I wanted to thank him basically for saving my life. I was hit by a freight hauler, rear-ended by a freight hauler, and ultimately diagnosed with traumatic brain injury, obviously with severe whiplash, with PTSD, with a number of issues in the body. And I was at a point in my healing process where my inability to function cognitively, just my life was basically unbearable.
And let me give a little bit of not just feedback, but a little bit of background so that the viewers can hear. Because your traumatic brain injury, I remember when we first spoke, and that was obviously months ago. I remember you could barely talk because when you would talk, you would just forget things. You would literally forget you'd forget the sentence that you were trying to convey to me. And the way you're talking now is totally normal, and it's unbelievable because I wish they could have heard our previous conversations because it really shows what what this hydrogen has done for your brain. It's unbelievable.
Well, there's just not even any question about it. I'm a former licensed psychologist. I let that go, and now I'm retirement age anyway, and have been working as a healer for decades, a spiritual healer. But I can tell you, I was high, as you can hear, I was high functioning in many ways, both left and right brain. Yes. Mental level left brain and highly intuitive right brain after some near-death experiences. So when I lost my brain function, I lost both left and right brain function. And so in the past, if I had something happening with logic, I could rely on intuition or vice versa, and both were out.
That would be very rough.
I literally had no compass. I had no way to navigate life. I couldn't think through things. I was making bad medical decisions because I couldn't process the information. And I was aware enough to be aware that I wasn't functioning well. And to be completely transparent, when I talked to Greg, it was for the first time, Greg, and I think I may have told you this, I had prayed the night before and basically had just said, God, I've done everything I came to the earth to do. I'm almost 70. I feel done. And if there isn't a real path of hope, something that can actually help me heal dysfunction so that I can continue to serve, then please let's just transition me. I was not only accepting death, but praying for it. And was feeling deeply suicidal for most hours of the day. because I live alone. I was dealing with all of this by myself. Okay.
That's always very difficult. I get that.
And so I had prayed that night before, and the next morning somebody sent me a link. I mean, it was the first thing I got in my bed, in my inbox, to Greg's channel. I listened to the first 5 minutes of one of your videos. I don't even remember which one. Saw a gold light all around Greg and the channel and the content, and immediately I know it was a replay of a talk show. You were on somebody's talk show, and there was a link to contact you, and I got calling, and I called you, and you called me back in 5 minutes, which I never in a million years expected, knowing how busy you were. You didn't know who I was. You didn't know where the call came from. You called me back in 5 minutes, and do you mind my being honest? Because I don't want to create expectations with other people.
Well, always be honest, so go ahead. It's okay. I don't know what you're going to say, but go for it.
Well, I'm very spirit-led and spirit-driven, and obviously, Greg, so are you. And in that call, although Greg had never met me before, he was guided to help me get my first machine. He financially contributed, which there's no way he can do, but he was guided to do it, and he did. And I'm living very simply. Well,
I did that. I mean, I remember that part, and I did that because, well, you're struggling financially.
Right.
I would hate to say this. Now, obviously, everybody's listening now to our conversation. I don't want anybody to expect that I'm going to do that for everybody. But I felt really bad for your situation, and you were having a hard time literally cognitively putting sentences together. You really wanted help. I felt very strongly, in my opinion. Obviously, everybody knows it's not medical advice, but I just knew that the hydrogen would help somebody with traumatic brain injury. I mean, there's enough data. I just felt very confident about it. And I just wanted you to get help, But I hate to talk about money when it comes to things like health. I don't like money to get in the way of health. The good news is obviously hydrogen's not, $1 million or even $100,000. It's not even $10,000. So it's something that's within reach for most people, but you were clearly having difficulties. You definitely made that clear. But obviously I'm really more focused on that it's helped you. I can hear just by the way you're speaking that it's clearly helped you. You're forming sentences.
And I'm, I used to be a powerhouse. I'm one of these people, when I knew that was a miracle, I knew it was literally the answer to my prayer. I knew it was. And then I figured out how to do the rest financially and got it ordered immediately. And when it came, I cleared my calendar and really immersed myself, because that was my guidance. My guidance was to really let my system get soaked with hydrogen water and with the hydrogen gas, because I'd asked, we looked at the research around if there were, what the limits were, like how much in an hour and all of that, and I took all of that into account. But so the first few days, I was basically drinking or breathing hydrogen almost all of the time. And by day 3, I could put sentences together. I could retrieve information. I had a place in my neck that was, despite months of treatment of multiple practitioners, that was severely painful. I couldn't turn my hand. Well, all of a sudden, this lump was starting to go down, and I had some range of movement in my neck. Day 3.
Wow.
And, so the impact, because I did the immersion thing, I immersed myself in it and soaked my system, I could see the difference immediately.
And
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I'm just so happy that it did that for you, because I hope I'm not sharing too much either with everybody listening here. Obviously being suicidal which is always, I don't know if it's embarrassing. I feel embarrassed when I share my story about that I've gone through that. And it's just because of how much pain and suffering you go through. And obviously you're older and you've gone through a lot. And when your body's not cooperating or your brain's not cooperating, at some point it just wears you down. And I'm literally going to try to hold back tears here because I'm just so glad that I'm just so glad that my time, and I don't care about that. I'm just glad that you're doing better. I'm glad that I was able to help. I'm glad that it's giving you kind of a new lease on life, even if it's, in the older parts of your life and the later parts of your life, but it doesn't matter. The point is you're still here and you thought about taking your life too, with everything you've been through. And so...
Well, and to be honest with you, my function has improved enough that I'm of help to other people. I have people that have reached out to me that are friends that are that one got in an accident, another one, and I've just talked to a friend today who just bought I'm going to forget the name of the Holy Hydrogen Lourdes Hydrofix, I guess it is.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
You recall, you normally couldn't recall stuff. I remember that. You just could not recall.
No, not at all.
And you just did it.
You
just did it right here.
I'd have to look up my own contact information to even like spell my own name or get my own phone number. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
I had notes all over the house, notes on my phone. If I had to deal with the insurance company, she's like, "Well, go get your notes."
So just to recap real quick, because I don't want the call to be too long. I mean, I don't mind talking to you, but for our viewers, they don't like really long videos. Basically, It's clearly helped you cognitively, the hydrogen. I mean, just clear as day. I mean, I can hear that in your voice and just speaking to you. It's helped you with the neck issue, whether it was from the whiplash or from some type of damage or whatever it is. Any other results that you can share with us? Anything you've been feeling? Anything you've noticed?
Well, I've noticed whole system shift because my whole spine was affected. I had issues with the low back. And, I'm noticing this clearing out of places where there were just knots of scar tissue in various places, neck, shoulders, mid-back, low back, hips, where there was scar tissue that the acupuncturists and massage therapists were working with, and that scar tissue is shrinking.
Wow.
And
that's amazing. That's amazing.
I know. And I spend most of my days now in an upbeat mood, and that's the most amazing of all. It's like reconnecting to my soul, myself, my natural state of being.
That's so beautiful because my own personal belief system is that how are we supposed to be good to others when we're in such a, it's hard for us to be positive and happy and healthy. How are we supposed to be, happy towards others and compassionate towards others? It's very difficult, when you're not doing well.
Actually, you can't. We're meant to give from an overflowing cup, and if our cup is empty, we have to refill it. So I am unabashed in my speaking the truth that, Greg, your generosity of spirit and your timeliness in responding and your support, and beyond that, the hours that you spent, with no income from me, just the generosity of your soul and heart in helping me wrestle through things I was dealing with or how to use whatever, because when you have that going on, how to use a new piece of equipment can be a little bit challenging, right?
With your cognitive issues. Yeah,
you were patient with me, and you're a hero as far as I'm concerned. You speak the truth, and I'd encourage, anybody who's dealing with something that they're not satisfied is resolving in a way. I'd encourage them to see what the miracle of the smallest molecule there is that can pass through the blood-brain barrier and that the body uses, that can get into the cells and can repair mitochondria and can build the ATP, which is the energy that you need to function and to heal. I would really encourage people to invest in themselves and give it a go. It literally saved my life.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your testimonial. I probably shouldn't say this on camera, but I'm embarrassed that I can't do a better video because I literally have one phone held up to another one on speaker. I just don't even know how to do a conversation here where people could see us both and really go into the conversation. But it doesn't matter. The point is the information is getting through. I really appreciate your testimony, sharing your experience with people, because that's the most important part. As I've done many videos on people's testimonials, but it's always just me. And we do get the haters out there who think that I'm making this stuff up. So this is the first time I can actually put somebody on the phone and people can hear our conversation, because we were having this conversation even before it got recorded.
Correct.
I just thought, hey, I have two phones, because I got a new phone. And so I was transferring my data from my old phone. And I'm like, well, I guess I could put it on speaker and record from the other one. This is how terrible I am with technology. I don't even know how to do it right. But that doesn't matter. The important part is they heard your testimony. I really appreciate you sharing that, because I really hope other people can hear what you had to say. And that's it. I can stop the recording here unless there's anything else you want to say. You and I can keep talking once I stop recording, but was there anything else you wanted to share?
I just want to encourage anyone out there who's dealing with something, even if you don't see how this could help. And I don't think that all of our research has even caught up with how this most basic building block of life, hydrogen in its pure form, how the millions of ways the body uses it to regenerate and energize and power itself. So, honestly, I think this should be a staple in modern life for anybody that's dealing with anything. And that's what I'm telling my friends.
And I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And I shared with you something privately on the call. I'm not going to mention it right now on camera. All I'm going to say is that there is some really amazing new information about to come out about hydrogen and even the hydrofix. I don't have the ability to say it publicly at this time, though I'm dying to. But I did share, but I did share it with you. And I'm just going to tell people, stay tuned. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm, the channel. Obviously, the channel is real small, so this helps when everybody helps. But stay tuned, because we do have something really, really amazing to share in the very near future. I'm like head over heels excited about it. But I have to honor the place that I got the information from, and they're requesting that I do not release it at this time, this information publicly. But it's coming. It is coming. So again, stay tuned. And thanks for doing this phone call. I appreciate you getting on the phone with me here and sharing your testimony and your opinion on everything. And more than anything, though, go ahead.
It's the least I can do. It's the least I can do. And I'm more than willing to be a resource for anybody who's really trying to deal with these kinds of things and have hit kind of the medical wall where the treatments that are available are just not helping.
Absolutely. And I wish we had a bigger platform, because I actually get very concerned about all the boxers out there who get hit in the head all the time, the MMA fighters, the football players.
Right.
I really do feel that hydrogen could help these people with everything they go through. And even some other stuff, which I'm not going to name because it would cause issues with the channel, but other issues that have been happening out there in regards to, I'll just say, a technology that is being used at this time. For humans, but I'm not going to say what it is. Hopefully people can read between the lines. And we'll just leave it at that for now, but I'll just tell my viewers, stay tuned, because there's more to come. But the thing that fills my heart with joy more than anything is, one, I'm glad that there's a device like this that exists that is able to help people. And two, the fact that it was able to help you and change your life. And ultimately, as you said, save your life. I mean, you were literally on that borderline of sadly wanting to possibly end your life. And I'm so glad that I was able to be of service and help you. And I'm so glad you're doing so much better, because I know you are. I really wish people could have heard our previous conversations when we first spoke. It was unbelievable, the difference.
I don't think I could get out more than 3 words without having to pause for the next one or not find it. I mean, I guess we can conclude with a not so funny story. I had friends arranged to help me celebrate my birthday, because with everything that was going on physically and mentally, I couldn't carry things. I couldn't be out. Something would hurt. So they had set up something with all the support I needed for my body so that I could be outside. It was my birthday. And they had brought these little cupcakes and sung me happy birthday, right? Yeah. And then someone else was taking me out to lunch and then bringing me back because my friends had my dog, right? So I come back having had this lovely birthday day, coming back to pick up my dog, and we had agreed that they would save cupcakes, so they'd think, bring me cupcakes at the end of the day to end the day with birthday cake, right? So they bring the cupcakes to me, and I looked at them and said, well, aren't you going to sing me happy birthday? And the look on their faces, because they both knew me to be brilliant and high functioning, and the look on their faces, the shock, and they could see that there was nothing in my being that remembered I had even been with them that morning.
Oh my goodness.
That remembered that it was just not there. It was completely gone.
Because I really think that this technology would not only help traumatic brain injury, but I personally believe, again, it's just my opinion, it's not medical claim or advice.
Well, that's one reason why I'm mentioning this story, because, now my way of handling it, because, I was a trained healer, my way of handling it, by this time I'd learned not to resist it, was to accept it and then just say, well, I have no memory, so let's do it again then, because I could see it on their face.
Oh my
but,
goodness.
I don't, that kind of thing is not happening anymore. So from my experience, I would say, I can see that it improved my ability, reduced the brain fog from whatever. Some of it TBI, some of it EMF, some of it possibly aging. But my ability to put information together, to find my words, to figure something out, to remember something joyful that happened only a few hours ago, that's all returned to me.
Oh,
it started returning within 24 hours of me really being on, really filling my body with the water, and that was the only water that I drank, and I didn't eat very much because I just really wanted to do like a hydrogen bath for myself and be breathing it. And like I said, within 2 or 3 days, there was an immediate beginning of return to what had been normal function for me for almost 70 years.
I got to say, I have goosebumps. That's just so beautiful. So beautiful to give somebody their life back. And obviously it wasn't me. The device is a beautiful thing, but in the end it was hydrogen. The device obviously just makes it cleanly and properly, which is something that I keep preaching, and many people don't seem to understand that. But we are going to have new stuff coming out, which we can't talk about too much, but it's going to really showcase a lot more of the importance of properly made hydrogen. As I hate to say this, but I would say just about everybody out there, or every method or every company out there, let's just say I'm not fond of their equipment or their methods. I don't want to pick on anybody, but it matters, because I get way too many emails of people using wrong type of hydrogen, and then all of a sudden something negative is happening to them. And nobody talks about the purity and the importance of it. But let's leave it at that, because the phone call, I wanted to keep it brief, and it's already gone well over 20 minutes. But thank you so much for sharing your story. This is great. I hope the viewers really are able to absorb this. And don't forget to share, guys. I know that the video, we're not on camera or anything. I'm just holding my phone here next to this other phone. But I hope this was helpful to everybody, guys. Thanks for watching. Any final words, or are we good now?
No, we're great.
Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Let us know in the comments if this was helpful, if you guys enjoyed this or appreciated this information and this testimonial from literally the horse's mouth, as they say. And thanks again, guys, for all your support, and we'll see you guys next time on the next one.